about y'all, but I just love the times that we get to come on and it's dark outside, or you get to see the lights a little bit better when it's cloudy, like on a rainy day. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? Check this. Check out this projector. This thing's awesome. Everything happens for a reason. I've learned that since I've been in the recovery rooms and 12 steps. And today I ended up rescheduling, and y'all couldn't be more beautiful, this projector right here. So appreciate y'all being on here. Crudy, what's going on? How you doing, girl? I'm doing really good. On my last day off today before I go back to work here. Got a lot of stuff accomplished, so happy about that. Also got some good rest. So yeah, that was good. So happy to be here. Hope everybody else is doing well on this Wednesday evening. I want to officially welcome everybody to the Daily Reader podcast on the Tony's Journey YouTube channel, where we read from a daily reader or a devotional, and we learn tools and principles, including but not limited to prayer, meditation, and breath work that help us to stay more present and to live better lives. We meet on here daily at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, unless something changes, obviously, like today, had to schedule. I'll let y'all know in as much advance notice as I know. Do the best that I can there. So today wasn't that great. I think it was like a 15-minute notice. But all good. So here we are. And it's good to see everybody here. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to this channel for future updates and podcast episodes. Good deal, Crudy. Glad you're doing good. We'll play around with the lights for a minute, y'all. While y'all are, just go ahead and, while I'm doing this, go ahead and find somewhere that, stopping point, whatever you got going on right now, and just get somewhere safe where you can relax for the next few minutes while we do a guided relaxation process. I don't know which one I want to do. Let me look at this. Yeah, I love the blue though. It's my favorite color, y'all. I really do. I'm not really sure. Let's take a play around with it for a second here. So I'll give y'all a minute or so to get there. You know what? Let's do this one. I like this one. We'll do that tonight. Whole bunch of different colors here. Really? Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I know they come down. I thought they was permanently here relocating. They said they was coming down on the 14th. So what happened with that? They changed their mind. They decided to go live back there. They got to live here. What's the situation there? If you don't mind sharing on here, if you do, then you just message me privately. If you don't want to put all that, probably not a good idea to put all their business on here about that. All right, y'all, so should be somewhere comfortable today. As we get close to Halloween, y'all, I'm going to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, as well as mentor, as well as my Reiki master, Letriana Brown, and her family down out of Greenwood, South Carolina. This is not paid, by the way, y'all. This is not paid sponsorships. I don't have any paid sponsors. But the organization is called Paranormal Pros. It is a paranormal investigation team out of Greenwood. I'm actually still kind of, I guess you would say, I don't know if you call it an honorary member, but I don't really participate that much anymore with the paranormal investigation stuff. I did it for about 3 years. But I thought y'all liked this shirt, and I'm going to let y'all check this out too, see the back of this thing, y'all, as we get close to Halloween. Pretty cool shirt, y'all. I actually went out last night, played pool with a friend of mine, and wore it out last night. As we approach that season, a lot of y'all may or may not celebrate Halloween. I don't really celebrate it in the sense that the origins come from. It was like a pagan holiday, from my understanding, and there are some evil things around Halloween. But I just keep it fun, keep it light, and yeah, just have fun with it. Right? Try to keep it all positive, with a good intention. And I think that's really key with what we do. Anything we do in life, do it with a good intention. Right? It's all about our intention behind everything. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, I already knew about that. And yeah, they mentioned that on the 14th. I thought they may have just come earlier or something. But yeah, I know about the landlord issue. I do remember a little bit about that. So I don't know. Somebody mentioned it to me. I don't know if it was you or maybe one of them. But anyway, go ahead and get into our practice this evening, y'all. So go ahead and just think of something you're grateful for today. And for me, I'm really grateful, y'all, as y'all can already tell when I started, for my projector over here. This thing is awesome, y'all. It's like one of the best $20 I've ever spent, especially for doing things like this. I just love this thing. It's got different sounds, different lights, as y'all have seen over the last month or so I've had this thing. And it's really cool, really peaceful to have this thing and get to use it and enjoy it. So go ahead and light our candle here. Whatever you're grateful. Curdy, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for right now? If you're comfortable sharing with everybody, throw it down in the comments. If anybody's drinking anything tonight, y'all, this is my power shake. It's all my greens for today. And one shake. I do take a multi as well, and I do supplement a little bit, but I eat mostly fruit, as a lot of y'all know. But this gets the majority of my greens that I need each and every day. Me, y'all drink anything tonight? Cheers to you. Good health, prosperity. This thing's delicious, so I love it. It's an apple berry flavor. Okay. All my plants starting to kind of wilt a little bit over here. I actually forgot to water this thing a couple days ago, so I've got to get on that. I'm gonna do it as soon as I end the podcast for tonight. Get on here and water this thing here. So, all right, y'all. So go ahead and, if it's comfortable for you doing so go ahead and close your eyes. Just go ahead and take some slow, deep, cleansing breaths. Breathing in your nose, out your mouth. For the moment, while we're together this evening, just forget about yesterday's regrets, tomorrow's worries, and just be here now. And tonight, just focus on the music. Just focus on this music coming from the projector. Put your intention there. Some beautiful music. With every breath, just feel yourself getting more and more relaxed. And you breathe in the nose, out the mouth. I know it's the middle of the week, y'all, for most of us. Most of y'all, anyway. Today's my Sunday, tomorrow's my Monday, so at least this week, switching things up. But hopefully this will be a good, energizing thing for y'all, a good reset on a Wednesday, hump day. So we're about to do the acceptance prayer. Before we do that, though, we're going to go ahead and take one more breath, breathing in the nose, out the mouth. Take the inhale on, take it in deep as you can on the inhale. On the exhale, let it out audibly, releasing any stress or tension that you might be holding on to in the body. And this could be conscious or unconscious. Sometimes we're not even aware that we're stressed until we sometimes go to a massage or go to a checkup or something, and somebody feels our body, feels our shoulders. Like, dang, you're freaking tight there, right? Or a chiropractor, right? Physical therapy, like I go to my physical therapist, like, Tony, you were freaking tight in your shoulders, brother. So yeah, I know sometimes I carry some stress there. Even in my back, a lot of times it's kind of my middle to lower back. I notice that from time to time as well. And sometimes that can just be stress. Body responding to stress. If I get like a pulled muscle in my back, sometimes that is stress. I realize I didn't know that until I talked to a really good chiropractor out in California. I had a good place about that big. It was freaking killing me in my middle back. He's like, yeah, man, it feels like you got a lot of stress going on in your life right now. And so, yeah, I'm working a freaking disaster. This is a flooding disaster. Working 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. He's like, yeah, you're storing your stress in your back. I'm like, oh, well, that was very insightful for me. So, inhale, deep as you can go. And exhale, blow it out audibly. And prayer. Acceptance is the answer to all of my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact in my life unacceptable to me, and I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I can accept my addiction, substitute whatever addiction you want to substitute for that. Alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, shopping, eating. Also substitute people, my wife, my husband, my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister, and so forth. I could not stay sober Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. Always a great prayer, y'all. Always. Not always easy to hear, easy to live, but definitely a good one. So I'll give you a minute. I'm gonna go ahead. October the 8th. This actually looks like we got a little bit of a shorter one today. Short reading here. Okay, got the light rolling. I'm gonna cut that. Actually, probably I'll leave that projector on. Might as well. So, it says, growing up in an attic home, I experienced a high degree of uncertainty in my young life. Whew. Yeah. That really hit me, y'all. Big time. Whew. Y'all give me a minute. One day, I would come home to an open, loving arms that met my needs and allowed me to feel safe. The next day, filled me with verbal and emotional abuse. Living with these two extremes, my feelings tried to keep pace. Eventually, they resembled a roller coaster ride filled with extreme highs and lows. I learned to cling to the extremes and to hold on for dear life. When I reached Al-Anon, I slowly but surely climbed off the roller coaster, placed my emotions and my life into the hands of a power greater than myself. Through attending meetings, reading literature, and practicing the steps and slogans, I learned that there's a lot of middle ground or gray areas to my feelings. I learned to let go of my emotional extremes and allow God to show me a more serene and peaceful way of life. Thought for the day: by improving my conscious contact with God, I find that emotional balance and inner peace can be a part of my daily life. Al-Anon helps me to come back to center, and that's from the reader Courage to Change, page 194. Yeah, y'all, really, just going back to my childhood, a lot of that was pretty challenging, to say the fucking least. Especially living with an alcoholic stepdad I lived with from probably the age 13 to about 16. Somewhere around there. And I would come home 6 out of 7 days a week, pretty much expecting the worst. Didn't really prepare for the best, because usually there wasn't a whole lot of good. It was an alcoholic stepdad. It was really like drunk every single day, except for Sunday. Except for one day a week he didn't drink. Fussing with my mom, fussing with me, throwing animals across the room, mainly dogs. We had dogs at the time. He'd pick up dogs a couple times, threw them into the walls, punching the ceiling, putting holes in the walls. And during that time, I really walked on eggshells, because you just never know what kind of, and you knew pretty much what kind of mood he was in. He usually wasn't a good mood. He was usually all irritable, frustrated, blaming everybody else around him for his issues or for what's going on with the relationship in between him and my mom at the time. And it was pure fucking hell, y'all. I'll be honest with you, it was pure freaking hell. 6 out of 7 days a week. And So not to go, I'm not going to get into too much more of that, but I mean, I was also sexually abused and manipulated too by an older person for about a year, class, about a year older than me. And, so yeah, needless to say, I lived in a lot of uncertainty growing up, and it wasn't really a whole lot of safety and all that, to be honest, y'all. So that's one of my needs that weren't really properly met during those years growing up. Probably about 4 years, I would say, growing up. Safety just wasn't some needs that were really met too well. So yeah, it was. I related to this one a lot, y'all. This is probably one of the top 2 ones that I've read this year. Out of the reader we're in, it really, really, really spoke to me, really hit home. So since I've been in recovery, since I've moved on, obviously got out of my childhood and moved forward into an adult, there's still some issues I have, right? But I do notice that I feel a lot better. I'm not as tense as I used to be. I don't feel as fearful as I used to be. I'm able to handle every situation as it comes, right? Whatever comes, I know I can handle it. So that really helps, right? I think a lot of that stuff. I learned a lot about post-traumatic growth recently. If you had never heard of post-traumatic growth, you definitely need to look at it. Look it up. So, post-traumatic growth is growing in spite of our trauma, in spite of our abuse, in spite of our whatever, manipulation. Don't matter if it's big T trauma, like getting shot, ran over by a car, or little T trauma by going to a ball game and one of your parents promised you'd be there and they didn't show up, right? That's a little T trauma. No matter which one, y'all, right? But with God, connection with God, knowing God lives within me, it's helped me out a whole lot, y'all, the last several years with my growth, with my recovery. And yeah, I've been able to really seek safety and security in myself, but also in God, and know that I don't live in them situations anymore. I've moved on from them. I'm out of those situations. Sometimes I still get affected by it, and sometimes I thrive. I'll be honest, y'all. Sometimes I thrive with uncertainty. I guess because I lived in uncertainty, y'all, when I was a kid. It's very interesting, all right, a strength that came out of the abuse, strength that came out of my mostly verbal and emotional abuse, but also sexual abuse, right, as a child, as a teenager. But it's interesting if you really look back on it. I took jobs that have a lot of uncertainty surrounding them, right? I did EMS for a long time. I'm a disaster worker, government contract disaster worker right now, y'all. That is very uncertain, y'all. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like, and we talk about this a lot in ACA, is I become addicted to excitement. So sometimes I think I have to have that, y'all, right? And like, some of these disasters are like a lot of exciting things, because you go in, like, you never know what you're going to experience, you never know where you're going. So, you know what I mean, to say, I don't know, it's pros and cons. I think there's probably pros and cons of that, right? And I'm digging deeper. The more I dig deeper into it, the more I'm going to realize it's a lot of it came from my childhood. But I thrive, y'all. Like, I thrive a lot. I don't know. I tend to, for some reason I do, I tend to thrive in uncertainty. And maybe it's because that's what I had to do growing up, right? I had to thrive, and I had to get through the uncertain times. I had to push through. I had to make it, right? I survived. And something interesting I'm going to be contemplating a little bit more about uncertainty, how it can come from your childhood, and how actually being attracted to uncertainty might come from my childhood as well. Being maybe drawn to more uncertain jobs, businesses, things like that. Just things in my life that are uncertain, because I lived in that. And I work for myself, right? It's uncertain how much money I'm going to make every day, right? And that's an interesting one. So, it's wired in, y'all. Like I said, a lot of childhood stuff. This is some stuff I'm just really right now having an awakening right now, like a freaking light bulbs just going off y'all over my freaking head and my brain right now. Talking about this with y'all because it's what it was, and I still seem to carry a lot of that around with me, right? The uncertainty, thriving in uncertainty, allowing uncertainty, tolerating uncertainty in my life. So, yeah. But at the same time, y'all, today I have myself. I have the adult Tony that I can count on. I have God that I can count on. I have other people that I can count on, friends, family members. If I need to call anybody, I got groups of men in my men's groups, 2 different groups of guys right now that I'm involved with. Actually 3, because I've got another 12-step group that I have people I can contact. Anytime I want to contact them, if something happens and I have an issue, I can call them, I can reach out to them. And they'll be there to listen, they'll be there to talk with me or whatever. So it's good to know that. I didn't really have that quite as much in my childhood. So now I do. And I'm really thankful for that. So with that, y'all, let me check the comments here, see if we have any more. Well, I think that's it, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish her up. Appreciate everybody being here. Those of y'all that tuned in. If you didn't tune in, I trust that you'll catch up on this when you can. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Same time for October the 9th, 10:30 a.m. in the morning. I gotta be somewhere at 11, so I'm gonna be kind of pushed a little bit on the time frame, y'all. I'm gonna have to look at maybe to push it up a little bit, reschedule with the person I'm supposed to meet, because I kind of scheduled a little bit too closer than I wanted to for the podcast. So, but anyway, y'all. If I get out there, make it a great rest of your night. Get some good rest. If you're not working third shift anyway. And as always, peace and love from my side. Good night, y'all.